is it?
Yeah, this is it.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our podcast.
Cheers.
Cheers. Ryan's having a really good hair day. And I'm Rita. My hair's pulled back because I'm not having a good hair day. But I digress. Ryan, what did you do to your hair to make it look so beautiful today?
I got off work and took a shower, and then I put some product in my hair. I guess if you want to know specifically,
I do. I want to know specifics.
I think
exactly. What time did you take your shower?
I don't know. I don't remember. Like 5 o'clock.
And you washed your hair in the shower.
In the shower.
And then you dried your hair. Got it.
No, I didn't dry it. Really. I just kind of
shook it out like a dog.
I just like towel dried it a little.
Right.
Like,
and so
kept
exactly
it
like
mostly wet.
Hair product says, add it to your hair when your hair's still damp.
Yep, makes it easier.
And what'd you use? Was it something fancy from Beverly Hills?
No.
Suave?
I used it's a curl cream thing from Aussie.
Oh.
Just something from Target.
And it helps your natural curl.
Right. It stops it from frizzing and gives it because if I don't do anything to it, it's just
out of control,
frizzy and matty.
You should do that next week. You should just let it go.
No, I'm
totally
kidding.
frizz.
No,
come on, Ryan.
If it's doing that, then I'll pull it back in a ponytail.
And are you promoting something on your T-shirt tonight? I can only see half of it.
Oh no, it's I'm wearing
local celebrity,
the one of the Sam Tripoli shirt. Speaking of, he right now is on High Live with Josh Wolf. So I was watching that as you called in, as when I because I just saw it was 7:30 and I was like, oh shit, I need to log on. So I opened the Zoom window. But yeah,
Did you want to go back to the show and we could?
No, we're good. We're good. I can catch the replay on the rest of it. But I thought it was cool that Sam was on High Live with Josh Wolf. Josh is another one of my favorite comedians. Do you know him?
I know of him. I don't know a lot of his work though.
Okay, he's super funny. He's a really nice guy. I actually called in on one of his High Lives. And
nice.
It was super cool. I was wearing one of my Johnny No Pants shirts. And he was like, "What's on your shirt?" And I was like, "It's my comic book." And so actually, made a couple of cool people. We became Facebook friends and followed each other.
Well, so it was, speaking of sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying, it was super cool because Josh Wolf, takes calls from normal people on Zoom, and he'll just cut to you at random times and be like, "What do you think?"
That's really awesome.
So, it's super fun, and it means a lot that they would do something like that, with their fans and actually interact in such an intimate way.
Sounds like good guys.
Yeah,
and smart too.
Oh,
because everybody was a regular person at one time. Unless you were born show people, but most people just go through a normal, regular childhood, minus show people. But I mean, what I mean show people, I mean kids who at 4 years old say, "I want to go to Broadway," and their parents put them in all kinds of music, and they become, they start going on auditions all the time. That's kind of what I mean by show people. So by the time they become adults, they've had a whole life of theater and music. But most regular people, they decide as they're living life or they don't like life growing up as a teenager. That's where a lot of comedians get their spark from and their view towards life, right?
Yeah.
A very skewed view, especially it almost seems like the ones comedians that are hurt the most in life, whether emotionally or physically, they seem to be the funniest because they're willing to tell the truth about some of the odd things that are happening.
I end up being funnier when I'm not trying to be sometimes, just because I have like such a broad view of trying to look at things. And so
Right.
sometimes my responses just like really throw people off. And they're like, what? They're like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, eh. And so, so yeah,
So have you
sometimes
done any, have you looked into, or are they right now in LA, are they having the open mic nights?
I don't think so.
Yeah,
They're just now starting to have some comedy shows.
right.
Um, and so,
Ha-
but I think I'm gonna start. It's something I'm gonna start probably looking into in the next month or so. But um, yeah, who knows?
Yeah, the interesting part is people who, it's weird. Like there's comedians that I've seen because in the late 80s, early 90s, there were comedy clubs all over the place. And there, in fact, is still one in the town next to me that people come through, pretty famous people come through. And it's a very tiny, tiny venue. But what's always interesting is to see them always funny or making you laugh or laugh and think, and then watching them on an interview being serious. That's always trippy to me
Yeah,
because it
it,
seems like, especially the comedians that are conversational, it seems like that's how they are all the time. And I know that performers aren't on and off, but sometimes it's just interesting to, like, your regular person is very serious and quiet and somber, but when you're on stage, you're
yeah.
observational and the way you communicate. So it's yeah.
It,
I'm
it,
usually funny with the group that I know people, and it's more very situational or telling a funny story about something that happened. But it takes a lot of guts to get up in front of people.
and like comedy and just in general, like writing, it takes
Right.
different. Like I did improv for a little bit out here, but I kind of
Mhm.
feel like it's a scam. Like they charge you money every
Excuse me.
month to like, I don't know. It's just kind of weird. But yeah, I did. Did improv for a little bit. Like it
Yeah,
was
you
kind
really
of
have
fun.
to be able to think on your feet to do improv too.
Right. It's yeah, it's interesting. It's fun. The response I would get in class a lot was, Ryan, you jump way into left field far too quickly. you gotta you gotta ease people
Let the
into it.
story go into, right?
Yeah, like you don't.
We're going to the grocery store.
They're
All of a sudden,
like,
I'm on a spaceship.
not everybody is gonna go there. So I would, um, yeah,
You got
oftentimes.
notes.
Yeah,
But
got notes.
I was just thinking of this afternoon. It's really hard when you have a kind of a different sense of humor, or you use things like, I'll say, same as it ever was. And that's a reference to Talking Heads, David Byrne.
I'm not. I'm not. I don't. I'm not familiar with that off the top of my head. So I don't want to pretend like am fully aware of the quote.
I can't sing the tune, but the words are letting the days go by, let the water.
I don't know.
Oh my God. Okay. Okay. So that's what's funny. And that's what's tough is what I deemed an incredibly famous song and a very unique performer and group. You can't get the reference because you don't know. And it's not like it was in the 50s, but it doesn't
Yeah.
make me feel old. It just, that's what's really hard. It's like exactly what you do. Go, when I
Well,
think, oh,
I
then you
I
go like,
also
I don't know that
have
reference.
always had an peculiar taste in music
Right.
too. So there's some stuff that just wasn't that I just kind of
Well, I'm going to
missed.
send you this. I'm going to and
Okay.
just listen to it and then say, oh, I get it. I remember that song. but maybe not as
Yeah,
much as
I
I
may
remember
have,
it.
like, there's a good chance, like, I've probably heard it somewhere, but it's just
Yeah.
not, like,
I
it's
want to
just
see the year
because,
now to see how much I'm aging myself. Go ahead.
yeah,
No, and
when I was just
you
saying,
may have
like,
been deep into the Christian music, and this might have been a no-no too, right?
um, I was never really, uh, strict with Christian music, until I was, like, 18, 19 by my own choice. And so growing up, I listened to a lot of I listened to all kinds of stuff. Like I was mostly into like punk and hardcore and like hip hop music.
Right.
Uh,
All right. One of the most critically acclaimed bands of the 80s
I've
under new
probably heard
wave,
it, but
post-punk, art pop, avant funk, world beat, and dance rock.
so yeah. Send me
I
the
will.
thing. I'll listen to it later. I've
I'm gonna ask some of our friends
I
in
would dare
your
say
age
I've
range.
probably heard it, but I'm just not. Just don't recognize the name.
I know you don't recognize Talking Heads.
Oh no, Talking Heads. Yeah, the band.
Yeah, you don't. But the lead singer David Byrne doesn't ring a bell.
Oh no, I don't know. I don't know any of
Names.
any of the names individually. I don't know them like that. I just know who.
Anyway, yeah, you'll hear the song, but the chorus. Okay, so but that proves my point. Is trying to use what you think of these cool references, but now I've got to do. Oh, and this reminds me too. Jenny sent me this funny article. That would be Chef Jenny Fox, who's our number one fan.
Hello, Chef
Who
Jenny.
Chef Jenny, and she every
Thank you
single
for your
week,
YouTube comments.
yes, which every week she says it's the best show on the internet, people. And if you can't trust a chef, who can you trust?
Politicians.
Don't put Jenny, Chef Jenny of the Indianapolis, Indiana area. Personal chef, and guess what? Food prep, meal prep extraordinaire. So she sent me this thing because I've always making jokes about my age. And she finds an article that somebody wrote an article. So, we have the millennial age span, just like Gen X, Gen Z, Boomer, and then I don't know, infinity. After,
Yeah.
yeah, if you're over 120,
Well,
you
I'm
can be called whatever you want.
confused. Like I'm confused about some of that. Like, cause they're my okay. I've only recently heard someone my age referred to as a millennial. Like we were always either like the tail end of Gen X or Gen Y,
Right. And
and
so that,
so
right.
it.
This is, this is the funny part. So someone did an article and they grouped it up and said, if you're born 80 to 85, you're at the very tail end of it, of millennials. Because I think,
And
is that what it is? Okay, let me just pull it up because
well,
this is
yeah,
hysterical.
I saw that before, but like I was thinking it was like 90s and 2000s kids. It
That's
is what.
that's millennials are, right?
Yeah,
But
90s and
millennials start,
like
yeah.
I thought it was actually 2000s kids, like the kids that were born in 2000.
I'll tell you exactly because they've broken it down. So between 80 and 85, that's at
Yeah.
the very beginning, which makes you the oldest of the millennials.
Yeah,
Okay,
that
so here's the new term. So you're a geriatric millennial
this
if
is
you were born between 80 and 85.
I hate
So
Twitter.
Jenny sent it to me because I make the joke about AARP and my favorite
Yeah.
video game, right? The asteroids.
That's
And
only
she's like,
been recent. Like that's only like people from 80 to 85 were considered either Gen X or Gen Y. Like
Well, now you're geriatric millennial.
now I'm
Yeah.
these
So
shifting these stupid labels.
see, I thought it was 35 to 40. See, I thought that you got, yeah. So is
Yeah,
it
I
Gen
thought
X is,
millennials were
I thought
20
Gen
year
X,
olds.
yeah, Gen X's were the 50-year-olds. And then
And
under Gen
Gen
X,
Y
like
I
be like
thought it
40 to
was Gen
50.
Y, and then yeah, I thought millennials were the 20-year olds.
I used to think that too, but
Like that.
now I think they're so, but there's but there's still, yeah. I used to think that too. Then somebody who was pushing 40 said, "No, I'm still in the millennials." So the millennials actually sounds like they're up to 45 years old, and then
Whatever.
46 to whatever is one of the Y or Z's, X's or Z's. But I just thought it was so funny because
this,
we are such a decadent society
this so
that we have to
exhausting.
label everything.
So exhausting.
So, because millennials sound like you're the fresh new things, but now you're not. Now you're the older of the group. So we've deemed you geriatric.
Can you just not participate in any of it?
You do not have to participate, but I thought it
Okay.
was funny.
Yeah. I am
So, right.
none of the
So it's kind of like hearing the first time one of your favorite songs from your teenage years gets listed as a classic. Because I think of classic as like my parents listened to the Big Bopper and 50s music, and I'm going, oh, the Eagles have classic music now.
Yeah.
But I know you don't know who the Eagles are either.
I do know who the Eagles are.
Because you're from Kentucky.
I don't think that has anything to do with it.
It could. It's the country boy in you.
I actually do not like country music at all.
And you're willing to say that on video.
Oh yeah, I hate country music.
Oh, come on.
It's terrible. Like I do like stuff like Johnny Cash.
And that would be what kind of music?
Like it's like older country, like
Yeah. What
rockabilly.
about Patsy Cline?
I think so. Like I think if like I'm trying to play some of her songs, but yeah, I think like Hank Williams.
Easy,
I
Hank
actually
Williams.
there are a couple of newer artists that are kind of cool, like Sturgill Simpson.
See, but you're right. You have to
Uh,
differentiate. Because
I
you're
like old
talking
country.
classic country. Yeah,
Yeah, I
classic
like
country music. Yeah.
that's the only country and I did when in middle school go through a little phase where I didn't hate Garth Brooks and like Alan Jackson for about a year. And so that's one of those things where I look back and I'm like like now if I try to listen to those songs I just want to not listen to them. I'm like stop.
See, I grew up on country music and blues and jazz. But country
I
music
like blues and
comes
jazz.
from, yeah, country music comes from blues and jazz. It's just that you have to have a wide palette of music. You're not going to like everything, but
Yeah.
it's nice. And then there's
And
different types of country and southern music
there's
because,
some types that
yeah,
I will say I do like, but I don't like the
you
pop
started it
stuff.
with saying
Like
you hate,
yeah. No,
right?
it yeah, I just really don't like
I
I
live,
guess
yeah, the more
pop or
commercial,
modern country.
right? So the more
Valerie
commercial,
June, have you heard her?
mm-mm.
She's really good. She's country-ish.
I have a a ton of classic country music CDs. My brother used to collect, or he'd have albums, and he'd burn it to a CD for my dad. And
Ray
I have
Stevens, or is that the
Ray
comedy?
Stevens. Oh, that he was a
The
comedy singer.
comedy
Yeah,
guy.
he was.
The
Yeah,
the
but
my dad liked him.
yeah, he's funny. But
The squirrel got loose in the church or whatever.
that's right. That's a good one. But Marty Robbins and Ray Price and of course Tammy Wynette and George Jones Conway Twitty, on and on and on. I mean, just this classic music. And I mean, a lot of fun facts with country music. All these guys who, like they're famous classic artists, but they were songwriters for years because no one would give them a chance because they were scrappy and not sellable. Or yeah, but yeah, that so growing up on that real music, and then my dad would take us to concerts, like free concerts. There's a fair nearby, a lot of country, but I've seen as a kid Merle Haggard and Willie Nelson, and just
Okay.
that live music. And I love live music, and when it's good, it's amazing. So that's the other thing. It's almost say live music when it's done well. It almost doesn't matter the genre.
Right.
And it's taste when it's really done well, and they're really playing music and they're really singing. And I likened it to Shakespeare. If you've only seen Shakespeare done poorly, acted poorly, spoken poorly, you probably won't like it or understand it. But when you see Shakespeare performed amazing, that was my experience as an adult.
I like the Romeo, and I like the one with Leonardo DiCaprio.
Oh, did you see that?
Yeah,
I see.
that
We
Romeo and
have,
Juliet
yeah,
from the '90s.
yeah. I
That
didn't
was
see
one of
it.
my favorite music soundtracks.
Oh, really?
Like, yeah, yeah.
No, we have here Cal Shakes, which is about 20 miles from me, right here in the Bay Area. This big, huge outdoor amphitheater. People come from all over to act in the summer series, and then right up Highway 5 in Oregon, there's Ashland, big famous. So we have it here on the West Coast, some amazing Shakespeare. And so it's seen, and we're both venues bring in people from all over the world to act. So it's neat. So it's like I kind of analogize that, or just I mean, I'm sorry, make that comparison. When you see something done really, really well, you can really appreciate the art. And yeah, music's that way, but country music's that way too. And then but it also can make you someone who loves music. I love music as much as you. I don't produce it. I can sing, but I don't. I don't. I'm not a musician, but I can super appreciate like live, really good musicians, or even people that mix music or DJs,
Oh
people who
yeah,
are doing the
there's
work.
live performances.
Mhm.
Like a bad live performance can change things. Like I saw the Chili Peppers back in
Oh yeah,
like 99, 2000. It was one of the worst performances I'd ever seen in my life. Like it was on their Californication tour, I think in like
really.
2000. Like I can't listen to them to this day. Like the performance was so bad. Foo Fighters opened up for them. They were amazing. Like
Yeah.
Dave Grohl like runs through the auditorium and like does all kinds of crazy shit, and then the
Hmm.
Chili Peppers come on and they're like incoherent and
Yeah.
like it was just not yeah, very disappointing. So I
Yeah, and that what's really tough is now that band. I think they had some issues. I don't know what. I think they're all
yeah.
clean now. I think they had some issues with druggies, and
But the
that may have impaired.
Roots, like another
Right.
one on the opposite end of the spectrum, the
Yeah.
Roots, like the hip hop band. Oh my God, their
Yeah.
live performance is amazing. I saw them in a smaller club out in Virginia. They came through with a marching band.
Oh, neat.
Yeah, because they were playing with a big brass band, and they came like and marched through the crowd and like went up
Hmm.
on the stage. They played for like, oh geez, I think like it was at least 2 hours. I think
See,
it
that's
was
my
so
dream. I
good.
want to. Yeah, I want to go to these states where there's clubs all over. I mean, it's kind of Nashville's kind of not super commercialized, but there's
No,
a lot of it's pretty
there's a lot of
commercial.
good.
A
When I
lot
was
of yeah,
playing music regularly, Nashville is where I played the most.
right. but not. I would call it off the strip because I've been to the
Right.
strip, which is
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
beautiful, but it's kind of it's
Um,
it's really for tourists versus the old school of just these little
but yeah,
honky
there's
tonks.
there's venues everywhere in Nashville.
Yeah, right.
It's a super fun town to play shows.
But Mississippi, listen to blues. New Orleans, listen to jazz. Come on. Have you been to
Uh,
Louisiana?
I've driven through it, but not
Okay.
really like stayed. So I wouldn't like, yeah, maybe technically, but not for any length of time.
Yeah. That's my goal is to make friends all over, especially in places that I don't know that many people in, but because I want to go to places that people know, not just tourist places. And I
Right.
would do the same. People come out here, I'll say, oh, here's some good clubs, here's some great venues, and to see really good music. Because
Right.
every place has their um, originating, not originating, but their own venues that people they make a living playing these small little clubs or
Hmm.
ale houses or whichever, and they've done it for 20, 30 years. Just amazing music.
Yeah. It's been a while since I've
Mm-hmm.
performed. Sometimes I miss it. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I think about it. Sometimes I don't. Uh, but yeah, the performing is fun.
Yeah, well, and I like listening too. So
It's yeah, it's super fun. It's kind of the connection between you and a group of people, and
definitely.
and both enjoying the moment and what's going on, and a mutual exchange of energy.
Plus, for me personally, the music's always been such a big part of my life in telling a story that I couldn't articulate. So it's
Mhm.
really neat to see artists with their own music and their own
Yeah,
words and songs. I mean, and it's kind of like discovering to go, does
that's
that
why I
person
like
resonate?
writing songs and lyrics,
Yeah,
because you get to say four different things with one single like line.
right.
Like, because everything can and often does have like two, sometimes three different meanings.
And it depends
Uh,
on the person, right?
yeah.
But during
Like when
some,
you're writing, you're
yeah,
like, because you're pulling a metaphor to represent something larger than what it really is, and maybe it can mean conflicting things, and
right.
and then that's kind of how you, like, when you're listening to music, kind of let it go through, and like, there's just this symbiosis between like what's being said and the music, and like how the words are presented. Like, yeah, it's fun.
Mhm.
Yeah, writing.
Reminds me of a story with Sammy Hagar writing, and and he tells a story when he went with Van Halen. They're like, oh yeah, you need to write the music, the lyrics, and tells us. And he said, oh yeah, one day I'm in the shower, and he starts thinking of it, and he realized, oh yeah, the formula is for us as rock stars is women and sex and how we can get it. So because all the stories are being the outlaw, but it's just funny hearing you explain it, and he's like, yeah, yeah, it's like it's rock and roll, women, and sex. He said most of my songs that's what the words consist of.
Um, yeah, it's Pharrell Williams was quoted in an interview because
Yeah.
like that he talks about sex all the time, and
Hmm.
he's like, do you ever get tired of talking about sex? And they're like, how can you come up with stop like thinking of different ways to say, yeah, like,
Right.
and part of it just coming up with creative ways to keep talking about like sex, and like and life, and so yeah, I have
Well,
several, like, I love trying to do that, like come up with ways to be like clever.
Mhm.
With I still trying to write fun, like funny sex or like innuendo stuff. It's yeah, I get it.
Yeah, it was definitely, well, because it sells. It's
Hmm.
part of the the legend of the rock star,
Yep.
right? And a lot of the guys say I had to be a rock star in order to get these beautiful women.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they wouldn't.
I never once got anyone for music.
Really.
Like, yeah. I don't think
But
anyone
you
I
were
ever date.
doing Christian rap.
Yeah. It
Wouldn't
so it
that be
wouldn't have
kind
mattered.
of?
I mean, like it. But yeah, no one. I don't think anyone I really ever dated actually
But
liked
do
my
you?
music.
I'm sure Christian singers and Christian rappers have groupies.
Maybe I'm sure. Oh yeah, no, I'm sure. Like I just didn't. At least
Or maybe you,
none that I
because
was really
you
aware
kind of
of.
don't you kind of require someone to hit you over the head and say, "Hey, I'd like you."
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah. So
So
there may have you may have had groupies, you just may not have really realized it.
yeah. Oh well.
So for all of you groupies of Ryan watching right now,
You
just send
dodged a
us a
bullet.
note. No, just send us a message.
Oh no.
Tell us when and
No.
where.
Do not contact us.
Tell us what it was about Ryan that made you fall in love with him
This
as a
is
groupie.
terrible. No.
Was it his
What?
rap? Was it his hair? What is man bun?
Well,
Come on, Ryan.
this is a terrible idea.
It's a great idea.
Hmm.
So please flood the phone lines that we don't have yet, but flood the YouTube message box with great stories of Ryan and your groupiness.
All right.
Come on, we
So
need to spice this show up. Come on, Ryan.
oh no.
You were on the
We need to
road.
spice it down.
No. Oh, come on.
We need to bland it out.
No blanding.
Uh,
I.
It's too spicy.
It's not too spicy. No, we want it. We need to spice the show up. We're just sitting here talking like we're talking on the phone. Okay, so here's something though I do want to say about Ryan, ladies. Ryan's going crazy on the Facebook. You've been linking.
What are you talking
You
about?
did a your you I get it because I follow you on Facebook.
Oh
I
yeah,
get I get
I
a notice when you upload stuff like you're the boss. Like you are Zuckerberg.
yeah,
You are Ryan Zuckerberg of Facebook. I've gotten like 5 notifications. You uploaded something. You uploaded
oh
your cartoon about
no,
the ghost with no
no.
hands.
They weren't I just tweeted it.
Oh, but Facebook notified me.
Sometimes my Twitter will post it to Facebook
So they're
and
friends.
vice versa. And yeah, sometimes I just post random links to awkward ghost moments just to random episodes.
And Ryan, what is awkward ghost moments?
Awkward Ghost Moments is a cartoon that I made, and I would like to make more, so please watch them at youtube.com/trashcanconductor. Which actually, speaking on that type of stuff, now that I've finally released all of them on YouTube, I need to actually. I'm going to put all the videos on Facebook and on Instagram
That's cool.
as well, and post all that everywhere and try to actually advertise a little because I do have more written. I just need to be able to have some time to finish them out and
It sounds like you know what you
it,
need. You need support. And you
yeah.
know who would
So it
support
would be
you?
nice to get fans.
How about groupies? How about your old groupies? Your groupies could come back, tell us all about you in your heyday
Let's get some new groupies.
when when you were rocking them out, when you were rocking out that Christian rap.
No, everybody would probably
And
just say it was weird.
They said, you mean the groupies would say you were weird?
Probably everybody.
I don't.
Everybody. That.
It's like the whole universe or
Yeah.
everyone that bumped into you. You've
They're
got a
like,
lot of friends though.
you're
So
weird.
weird isn't necessarily not a compliment. What I'm saying is in your group of groupies, it's got a social media person in there that could say, oh, this is why Ryan's is so great and could help boost up the
Maybe.
all we are saying is give groupies a chance. So please, groupies of Ryan. What were
What
you
about
play nice?
what about your
Well, no,
groupies?
uh um,
Get Rita some groupies.
why would I need groupies?
Why would I need
I do not
groupies?
have a comic strip to sell.
Right, but that doesn't require groupies.
Right. Yeah, no, but you have groupies. That's the whole point. I don't need groupies. I just need people who live in different states that have great music that I can become friends with. So I could come into town and go, hey, let's go have a beer and go listen to some good music. I will
Uh,
take those. If
yeah,
we shall call them groupies, we shall call them groupies. But not in the groupie sense, like in that movie
yeah.
with
I don't. I'm cool on that too. I don't need them
but
in
if they're
that.
now I will say groupies do have the lure of being beautiful. It's okay if they're beautiful.
That's encouraged. uh,
And if they know good places to go listen to music,
yeah,
right?
sure.
So and okay, so what states are we talking? We're talking Louisiana, Mississippi, Tennessee, but not the Nashville strip. Hole in the wall, rockabilly places. Not just rockabilly, but
I know a lot of people in Nashville.
I know you do know a lot of people. You know everybody in Tennessee. You even said that you know
Not
everyone
the
in
whole, not the
Tennessee.
whole state, but I do know a lot of people in Nashville.
You know a lot of people everywhere.
Not everywhere.
That's
A
why
few spots.
I think the fact that you know so many people and the amount of groupies that you have, this is what's going to get your comic strip. And oh, what was the name that you went by? I am Ryan when you were a rapper. I ran.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's my new moniker.
What would your groupies know you by then? What was your name
They
then?
Nobody ever figured it out. They just called me Ryan. I don't know.
Okay, wait.
But nobody
You
could
rapped
ever.
all over the world
Yeah,
and
just the United States.
you rapped all over the United States tirelessly and nobody could no one could pull you out of a lineup pretty
Nope,
much.
nope.
You didn't
I
have
was. That's why I failed.
you could have told them your name.
The no, my name was it was Dub T, the musical
Oh,
mastermind.
that's right.
And so it was just I was
Oh
trying
my
to
God, thank
be
you for reminding me of that. That
yeah.
the
So it was
magical
just
mystery tour with Ryan.
yeah.
You were the magic. Okay, say it one more time. I can never get this right.
No. Google it.
You were the magic. Oh wait,
The magical mushroom man.
the magical mushroom man, Ryan the rapper.
Yes.
No, okay. Wait, you gotta do it because how else will your groupies find you? Come on,
They can't.
you. I know. What do they say in marketing? Have something simple and brand awareness. And your brand awareness
Yeah.
was just say it one more time. I swear to God, I will not laugh.
Was be complicated. That was my brand awareness.
No, it was not.
Was be,
Yours was it was the magical, the wondrous, the
the
puff and
musical mastermind.
stuff. Did I promise not to laugh? Okay. The musical mastermind of Ryan.
No,
Or
Ryan
just-
wasn't even there. in the
It was
title.
just the musical mastermind.
It was Dub T, the
Oh,
musical.
Dub T.
Yeah.
The Dub T. Okay, so we have if we were detectives trying to find your groupies, and we wanted to go to the scene of the crime,
Jeez.
we would do this. We would go, it was Dub T, the musical mastermind.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
There's not magic in there anywhere. Ryan, I love you so
Yeah.
much for that name. I think it's the best name in the universe. And seriously, you had a name. And we're going to find those groupies. I can't. I love it so much. I have to write it down. Seriously, don't be all serious about it like I hurt your feelings because I didn't. Because I don't have a cool name like that. Are you mad at me now?
No, I'm just uncomfortable.
Don't be uncomfortable.
No, I'm just, I mean,
All right. All right. Then I'm not, you should not be uncomfortable. And I won't write it down and I'll forget it. So then, unfortunately, it's going to set up the next time this happens because I won't remember it and then it'll make me laugh again. I cannot be desensitized to your uncomfortableness. Okay. So I didn't want to make you feel uncomfortable. On to the next thing, since I have no topics for tonight, 2 weeks in a row, Ryan.
nice.
What else? Oh, can we please talk about a current event before we go?
Yes.
I saw today that all of the Democrats in the Texas State House all left, so they couldn't. I guess there's a big vote going on, and they left in protest because the Republicans, I suppose, needed a quorum, and then they posted it, them all getting on a private plane to fly to DC to they're protesting it to make, I guess, to get national attention, to say, here we are, pass this bill, this federal bill on something. And I just look at it and go, geez,
Wait,
that's
so
Texas.
who left Texas?
So there's a state house, right? And it's the state assembly and Congress for the state of Texas.
So they're
So
politicians.
all these people, all the
left.
politicians, but they're all Democrats. And the Republicans are trying to pass a bill and the Democrats oppose it. But I guess the majority are Republicans, so there's a great potential of passing, but they can't vote unless there's a quorum. So they left the state. And I guess they did this a few years ago as well. So they left the state, but they made a big hoo-ha about it, flying. And then, of course, reporters are saying they got on a plane, nobody's wearing a mask, it's a private plane funded. They're being paid by their constituents of the state to go to DC to vote on a federal thing. And my first thought was, number one, kind of from a funny point of view, everyone's saying, oh, Californians are selling and going to Texas. And I was going to make a joke saying, well, I guess that whole Texas, California, because that sounds like a crazy California thing that would be done.
Yeah.
We haven't even done something crazy like that before, but we do have there's many Republicans here in the state. But
it's apparently. Did you hear about apparently kids are going to be required to wear masks at school?
No, I didn't hear that.
That was something that was going around on Twitter earlier.
Well, it's interesting.
So I don't know the validity of that, but yeah, a lot of people are like questioning.
Yeah, well, it's interesting, and one of the benefits of living in the Bay Area is the doctors at the UCSF have really kept us informed here. It hasn't made really national news, but they kept telling the citizens here, that positive tests are one thing, it's the hospitalizations we're really counting, and they were giving reports of it. Now, the national news and a lot of the newspapers that are kind of owned by the national newspapers, they would show millions and millions of positives, but UCSF would say, we got that, but if they're asymptomatic, we're really looking at the overrun hospitals. That's what we were worried about. So it was interesting because there's a whole big thing coming on it. There's another variant of it of COVID, and now there's a bunch of more scary stuff, and then children might have to wear masks at
Yeah.
school. And so this one doctor at UCSF wrote, "Stop it with the next, variant, and and then stop it with the least affected by this virus, which were the children." And then she wrote this big article about saying, "We've already sacrificed a year and a half of their lives." So yeah, it's trippy.
Yeah, I remember I was having a conversation with a friend. Uh, he moved a while back, but this was I don't know, towards the beginning, I guess, of the whole thing,
Mhm.
and he was like, "Oh, it eventually will go back to the way it was," and then I was like, "Will it?" And I was just joking, like half joking, but I was like, they're never gonna let us out again. I'm like, after 2001, like they didn't take away any of the implements, any of the things that were put in place.
Yeah, for
Like,
the Patriot Act and the
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, they didn't take any of that away. And I
Yep.
was being sarcastic, thinking they would actually take this away, but like now I'm like, oh geez, like maybe like I shouldn't have been sarcastic about it. Like,
There's a yeah, um it's a trippy time. Now I'm having the opposite effect, and maybe it's where I'm at, because LA's a much denser living space than the Bay Area. And
it's so weird here. Like, I don't know, like compared to, I don't know how to gauge things because I know
right.
that the way things are here, it's not what, like from talking to people that I know that live outside of the state, like it's not like that. Any
And the
like
same thing here. And
it
now it's almost, in my experience now, in the last 3 weeks, like it never happened, except maybe you see one person with a mask on. People in the restaurants, and the difference is the people working in the stores, people working in the restaurants, they're wearing masks. But
right.
all the guests are like hooting and hollering on each other, and everybody's great. And
And to be completely
yeah,
honest, like restaurant people and stuff like I really don't mind them wearing masks. Protect your
and then
food.
yeah, and they
Um,
but I
but
go into
everybody
the store,
else,
right?
oh
It's
yeah,
like
everyone
right,
here still wears a mask. Like
yeah, it's yeah.
85 to 90% of everyone. I still see people with wearing a mask in their car driving by themselves.
Yeah, it's now again, you guys had a really, really bad time compared to us out here in Northern California. And I liken it to, see, I remember the everything going down because I had access like everybody else, but
Yeah,
I wasn't out
I
working
think
eight
it
hours
was
a day.
better
Yeah.
in like Orange County, that
There
area
yeah,
too, a little
but
south. They were
when
like,
we
screw this.
yeah, it was like the second weekend in March. And but we were also getting Northern California. We took in the cruise ships that were floating around with sick people on it, and we built they took them to the military places.
Oh
That was
damn.
here, so there was a lot of information coming at one time. And then they had the big, huge. I remember, I think it was a San Francisco Chronicle saying, "I can't believe that LA is still going to have that a marathon, big LA marathon." And that was like the third week in the first week. And because we here, it was like, oh wait, we got sick people coming in, everybody's taking precautions. It wasn't dramatical like it got. But
Hmm.
I always think at that time going, 100,000 people all smushed and sweaty together, all of the, different things. And then the cases seem to get you just have a lot more people in a smaller space than we do here. But it is
Hmm.
amazing just going to the grocery store, whereas before just naturally people were 6 feet behind, everybody had a mask on, everybody was quiet. Now it's, oh, bump right into somebody. It's like a switch, and either people just got like, or maybe because of the media, and we were all, that's all we had to do is talk with each other, and people were it was infrequent that they went outside, is that maybe a lot more people just went, I'll wait it out. But once they relieved the restrictions, I don't know. I don't
Yeah,
know. I don't know how viruses just turn off and turn on. And because there's still this info about not as many people are vaccinated and the vaccines may not last a year and all da, 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 da. It's not like everybody went on the same
they may
exact
be
date.
going door to door.
Oh yeah. So
That's gonna be interesting.
yeah, good luck, right? And
Yeah.
there's just it's really interesting too, is people it's like, oh, where'd you get your vaccine? It's like, oh yeah, I don't talk about vaccines with people. It's like it's some big thing of like, where'd you get your handbag? It's like, oh, why don't you talk about vaccines? Because I don't know who's for them and who's not, and I don't feel like having that discussion. And so,
Yeah. It.
right, I
It.
I have definite views on a vaccine that was very, had a lot of regulations lifted from it. And I also have a personal belief, just because of the nature of my work, the year that it happened, that I was traveling 3 weekends out of the 4 in 8 different states, in hotel rooms and car places. And so I was either carrying it and I was a super spreader, or I wasn't. But I'm thinking, if at any time between October and January 2019 and 2020, I was everywhere on the western part of the United States. I was all over LA twice a month for 4 days,
Oh
so
wow.
8 days. So every other weekend I'd be in LA or Arizona or Idaho or Montana, Nevada, of course, Northern California, traveling all over. I'm thinking, if I don't have it, and that's what I'm waiting for. I want it. I want that immune response test. I
Like,
My
were you
doctor's not going to
sick?
order it for me.
Like
No,
what?
I would call like what I would say a little bit heavier than a cold, but not a full blown thick chested, cold that I just
Oh,
worked through. Just, I felt like for a
that's
couple days, I
probably all it
felt,
was.
yeah, that's probably all it was. But maybe I had it, maybe I didn't. I don't know. I still am skeptical.
I know I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't
Yeah.
have like I which is cool. I haven't been sick at all. I've been injured, but not.
From the COVID.
No, no, not from
Oh,
COVID. From like
oh, you're
working.
working. Yeah.
Yeah, but I've not been sick.
So what's your plan? What are
Fortunately,
you going to do this week since it's Monday? We didn't tape on Saturday.
the I was I was just beat. Like I was off early, but I fell asleep by like 3 in the afternoon.
That's good though, huh?
The No, I'm tired of being tired. It's
But it's nice to take a nap in the afternoon.
the no, I mean that like I woke up, ate, and went back to bed. Like so, I
Oh,
literally went. So my whole day was out. But anyway, this week I'm working. And so, but I'm hoping to get into doing some art stuff. So there is a couple things I want to work on for me, but I should be able to like I'm gonna start reworking the overlays.
oh,
So
cool.
yeah, yeah. So for real, sometime in the next couple weeks we'll have new overlays. So I'm gonna start with a little bit newer redesign of this one, and then go from there.
Nice.
The it's probably gonna mostly be the same, but but some
I
stuff
like it. I like it.
shifted, but from some stuff moved around. Yeah, I might
That's your
change.
plan.
Yeah,
Work, and then you're gonna work
work
on
in
your
that. Yeah, I've got a couple. I'm trying to formulate a plan, and put it into action.
nice.
There's because I would like to make comics and cartoons and stuff like that for a living. And
Nice.
so I'm gathering the stuff that I have and getting ready to just start figuring out how to promote before I get in to start making some new stuff. Because you know, I think I have plenty to share for now.
Right. Be nice to get a contract, right?
The oh no, it'd be nice to own it and just have fans direct.
Oh, is that how it works?
Yeah, that's that's the goal of any creator. Is to
I thought
just
syndication to be in every newspaper or
that's if you want to sell out.
oh, got it.
Like I would much rather have like a really good group of just like dedicated fans, and I would rather do stuff through like crowdfunding and like there are a lot of comic book artists that are making a killing off of Indiegogo right now.
Oh, good. So, but that's something cool. You can get because you can just get it out there. You just need to get
Yeah,
people to see it,
right. And
right?
so I am working on some stuff.
Yay.
Like so hopefully I'll figure out a way to branch out soon. And
2021 is supposed to be the year for people. That's weird. Must be time for the show to be almost over. My hair's falling out of its ponytail.
it just it
Just all of a
just
sudden, it's like
stopped.
I have a little side tail. Yeah, it's because my hair's not quite long enough to pull back. Anyway, enough about my hair. Um,
I this yeah, I was gonna say I if you hadn't pointed it out, I don't know if I would have been like, wait, that
it's
wasn't
a
there the
story of
whole
my life.
time.
I know. I know. I always say people are like, oh, I'm having trouble hair day, and
It was
friend
very
will say,
subtle. So it was very subtle. So
just reminds me of the '80s when girls would pull their hair to one side with a ponytail. But no, I hadn't even noticed it because
yes.
I was thinking, is my bang growing so long? Because it does kind of look like that. You
Oh
optical
yeah,
illusion.
like the
Okay, seriously, enough about staring at my hair in a ponytail. But the the one thing the universe and the planet alignment is for everyone is that it's a really productive year for people. Use that information as necessary.
I
Because
don't
the
feel like I've
retrograde
been
is over for a
productive.
bit. That's good though, right?
No, I said I don't feel like I've been very productive.
Well, you've got another 7 months or 6 months.
The I I feel like I've
You are
been
physically productive. Look what you're
yeah,
producing.
no,
Yeah,
I've been busy like working, which is cool cuz
you
I
gotta
need money.
eat. The what'd you have for dinner tonight? Have you eaten
Uh
yet?
El Pollo Loco.
Oh, that's your favorite.
Mhm. I yeah, it's the I need to change my diet.
Yeah.
Like I kind of feel like crap. I think it's my food.
And on that note, it's time to go. I think we have surpassed an hour.
Nope.
Where are we at?
50 58.
Okay, we have 2 minutes. I don't think I can top the you feeling like crap from the food that you're eating.
The no, I so I want to start eating a little better.
Okay.
Think it's too
See,
many
you got a good checklist going. You got a
burgers
good
and
checklist.
pizza. I need to and
You need to get
sugar.
a you need to get a good woman to cook you some good food.
The that's on the list.
There you go.
I
Checklist.
guess.
Good woman, cook good food, and not bother you too much. And
The
let you be you. And let you be you. If we're
I
gonna put it
guess.
out there to the universe of the checklist, you gotta be specific.
The yeah. Sure.
Right? Then you're gonna work on getting yourself a little bit more notoriety with your comics.
Yeah. Try and get out there.
Well, you're already starting with a Facebook.
Infiltrate some communities.
You're gonna be working on open mic night for your comedy. You got a lot of stuff working, and I'm sure you're working on your music.
The little bit. here and there. Mostly been re-listening to rough versions of that project John and I were working on.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, re-listening to
I haven't
the
been doing
scratch
anything.
vocals.
This is all I do all week.
This podcast.
This is it.
Podcast.
Checked off for this week.
Nice.
That's all I'm doing.
You work. Don't you have meetings and stuff like that?
Yes, I won't tell you now because we're almost done with the time, but I got a great coaching or consulting job I'm really excited about.
Nice. Nice. That is good.
It is really good.
Yeah, because you were talking about me and that. I got off on a tangent. I didn't get to ask when you were going to start doing your small business stuff again. And
Well, we got the
and
last we checked, got the camera set up to practice, and I've been practicing, but it's going terrible, but not in a bad way. Just getting used to being on film, and then trying to look authentic and meaning relaxed and not. But there, it takes a lot of time to not just talk to yourself like you and I are just talking. I'm just
yep.
looking at you, and that may be something I need to do is set the camera like behind the screen so I feel like I'm looking at someone and talking to them, because when it's me alone just looking into the camera, I start to get very self-conscious, and then
It takes practice.
yeah. So
Like
it's
it
yeah.
being able to deal with yourself being recorded or live. It takes some practice. Like it's like I know, especially when I was first started doing like vocals and singing, and the first time I did like a professional sounding recording, I was like, oh god,
But I'm trying to
that's
be
what I
really,
sound
yeah,
like.
I'm trying to be really positive, because what I find myself doing is saying, this is really hard, I can't do this is really hard, and then it just kind of becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy of, go, man, this is really hard. And so now I'm going, you know what, you're doing it for this reason, which
Practice,
is to practice and
practice it.
to feel comfortable where, and then I have to remind myself about how long it took before I felt comfortable scuba
Yeah,
diving without worrying about everything, how long it took for a lot
and
of very different
it'll
things.
get better each time, and it should get better each time you do it. You know, and when you watch it and be like, you notice certain things, you're like, okay, I'll try to do something about that,
Right.
or this and that. You know, but
Yep.
and eventually you'll be like, okay, that is just me, and how that's going to work. I have to be okay with it, and yeah, you'll eventually, yeah, through practice and repetition.
It's just practice, and then it's a pretty steep gradient from barely knowing how to zoom 6 months ago to setting up a camera, standing or sitting in front of it talking, and then and so I'm yeah. The one thing is, you when you have a list of things that you think, oh, this if you ask me questions kind of almost in an interview form, I could go boom, 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 and I'm thinking, I know this stuff. Why can't I just say it without? But
Right.
it's in my head, and so like I said, I'm trying different things to make it look like I'm talking to someone instead of me looking into that camera thinking I have no idea who's on the other side. So it's just really, it's an interesting process, and I'm excited, and it's just it's an amazing learning experience, because even the fact that I do it, whether it's good or not, whether it meets some sort of standard, the fact that I got it all together electronically is a win. Number
Right.
two, it's um, it's all part of the story of taking something from nothing, you know, knowing you, getting an old DSLR Nikon, getting it hooked up in the system in my computer. It's just, and then utilizing that. That's a big leap. And then part of the story of how it can be done without the old way of put off something because you need to pay somebody to do it for you.
Right.
So so yeah.
It's very possible to do uh a lot of things.
Right.
You
And
know,
to and the beauty
it's
right now is looking, because we're so now used to people just looking like they're sitting in a room, sitting in
it
the music corner of their house, but sitting in a room because it looks real, because we are real. And then me trying to get, and that's just something I'm going through transitioning mentally, is before you'd never put something professional out unless it looked really slick and professional, except my clients aren't Fortune 500 clients. They're small business owners who are regular people.
mhm.
So even though I would wear a suit going in to see them, depending on the type of business, but some are more casual than others. But the thing is that people who are going to respond to me, especially on the internet, are going to be regular people who own
And
regular businesses.
and the quality of the presentation will be done well. So
Right. And hopefully they're like shooting like beams of light. Whoosh, whoosh.
sure. Have you shoot
Well,
electricity everywhere?
oh yeah. That's a great
I don't
idea.
know if I have any. I don't know if I have those. That kind of
Special
graphic.
effects.
Yeah,
Can
I
we
have.
have like the Star Wars?
I'll have to see.
Oh,
I'll have to see
no,
what
no,
graphics I
no,
have.
no, no. We could do this Close Encounters of the Rita kind.
Thank you for tuning in to the Rita and Ryan podcast. Go to our website, smallbusinesspodcast.org and trashcanconductor.com. Follow us on our social medias. Like and subscribe, and please share this video. Share it to all of your friends
Thank you, everybody. We'll see
and
you next time.
enemies. If you hate us and you're like, send it to someone you don't like too.
And please write a comment if you've watched the video.
Yep. Say hello.
Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week.
Thanks.
Bye,
Bye-bye.
Ryan.
Bye-bye.